On a cold Saturday morning in downtown Seattle, the wind carried the faint smell of rain and the hurried footsteps of strangers, but none of that covered the quiet heartbreak unfolding on a small corner of Pine Street. A single dad stood beside a folding table covered with fading canvas sheets, their colors vibrant yet their edges frayed from years of travel. His hands were trembling slightly, not from the cold but from the fear he tried to hide, the fear of failing one more time. His name was Caleb, a 34-year-old father who had been painting since he was a child, yet life had pushed him so far down that survival had become the only art he practiced consistently. Today, he prayed someone would buy even a single painting. Behind him, his 6-year-old daughter Sophie sat quietly on an old blanket, trying to keep warm. And as a passing bus gusted dust into the air, Caleb whispered to himself that he would not go home empty-handed again. He couldn't. Not when his daughter's shoes were coming apart and the rent notice lay taped to their door like a warning of time running out. This was the moment that would change everything, though he had no idea who was about to stop in front of him. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories of people who never give up, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps these inspiring stories reach more hearts. The morning passed slowly, each hour folding into the next like a quiet test of patience. People walked by without looking, umbrellas tilted against the drizzle, headphones sealing them away from the world. Caleb watched them go, feeling invisible, a street artist without a gallery, without recognition, without a future he could promise his daughter. He had been laid off from a warehouse job a year earlier, and with no family to lean on, painting was the only way he could make some income. But selling art on the streets of a city that barely noticed him left his savings thin and his hope even thinner. Sophie kept trying to smile, playing with the edge of a canvas where bright yellows faded into ocean blues, one of her father's favorites. She said she loved that one because it reminded her of light underwater. Caleb swallowed a lump in his throat, knowing she didn't understand the weight he carried, how close they were to losing even the tiny apartment they called home. Around noon, as the clouds thickened and a light rain started falling, a black sedan pulled up near the curb. A woman stepped out, holding a sleek umbrella and a leather bag that instantly signaled success. Her name was Veronica, a 45-year-old CEO of a well-known art corporation in the United States. She had been searching for authentic talent for upcoming exhibitions, but nothing she had seen in polished studios felt real anymore. Everything looked manufactured, soulless, made for profit, not passion. As she walked past the street vendors, her eyes caught something that made her stop mid-stride, a painting of a father lifting his little daughter toward the sky with a sunset behind them, painted in deep reds and soft purples that looked almost alive. She felt something stir in her chest, a quiet pull that she hadn't felt in a long time. She stepped closer, lowering her umbrella and studying each brushstroke with genuine awe. That's when she noticed the small girl sitting on the blanket and the man beside the table who looked both hopeful and defeated at the same time. Caleb braced himself for disappointment. He had seen people stop, look for a moment, then walk away like his work was nothing more than decoration. But Veronica didn't walk away. She bent slightly, inspecting canvas after canvas, touching the edges delicately, reading the emotion captured in every line as if each painting carried a story she needed to hear. When she looked up at Caleb, she saw the exhaustion in his eyes but also something unbreakable, raw talent and a father's determination woven together. In her years of running galleries, she had seen many artists, but none who made her feel like she was looking at life itself splashed onto canvas. She bought one painting. Then another. Then another. She didn't ask for discounts, didn't bargain, she paid full price and tipped generously. Sophie's eyes widened as she watched the bills exchange hands, hope flickering back into her world. But the biggest surprise came when Veronica asked Caleb if he had more paintings or a portfolio. He hesitated, embarrassed, and said most of his art was stored in old boxes in their tiny apartment. Veronica handed him her business card and told him she wanted to see everything, not as a customer, but as someone who believed he had something the art world needed but didn't know how to find. Over the next week, Caleb brought his entire collection to her company's headquarters. His nervousness almost made him turn back at the building's glass entrance, But Sophie squeezed his hand, grounding him with a child's simple belief that her dad was the best artist in the world. Veronica spent hours reviewing his paintings, taking notes, asking questions, and quietly imagining how the world would react once they saw the brilliance she had discovered. She decided to take a chance, not as charity, not out of pity, but because talent like his deserved the world's respect. She offered him a contract for his first exhibition. She offered him mentorship. She offered him a future. The opening night of Caleb's art exhibition became a defining moment in his life. The gallery was filled with warm lights, polished floors, and people who weren't rushing past him anymore. They were stopping, staring, admiring, smiling. Sophie's laughter echoed softly as she walked around wearing a tiny dress Veronica gifted her. And when a news reporter asked Caleb how it felt to be discovered, he glanced at Sophie and felt tears well up. It wasn't about fame. It wasn't about money. It was about finally being seen, finally being valued, finally being able to give his daughter the life she deserved. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share the video. Your engagement helps more people discover inspiring stories like this. Please comment, "Never give up," before the ending. I would love to hear from you. In the end, Caleb didn't just gain success, he gained dignity, stability, and the chance to show his daughter that even in the darkest moments, talent, love, and perseverance can open doors that once felt forever closed. And somewhere on a quiet street corner in Seattle, the space where he once stood with his folding table remained empty, a silent reminder that sometimes, a single moment of recognition can change an entire life.